Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into the North Main Minute. I'm Joshua Doby. Foundational planning question with which we're working literally every day on behalf of clients has to do with the broad, evergreen idea of retirement planning. Now, retirement planning is different for everybody. Everybody's situation is unique. Everybody has their own set of circumstances when it comes to their finances. So I'm going to give you a couple of really broad ideas here, which may or may not specifically apply to you, but just from an awareness standpoint so that you can keep them in mind if you are looking at retirement and perhaps even as you're in retirement. First big one, it's a different world now. Now, I could probably say that at any time relative to our economy or to the financial universe, but it certainly is different right now compared to the last 10 to 15 years in terms of where interest rates are. You may have seen either on television and the newspaper that interest rates have risen quite a bit, and that's meant some not so good things on the debt side in terms of rates rising, but it also means that savings accounts, CDs, high yield money market accounts have all of a sudden come back into the proverbial scope of things when we're looking at planning because you can finally get some real return there. So definitely you want to keep that on your radar screen because of where interest rates are right now. Second big item, and this is foundational when you're looking at retirement planning, stay diversified. If you happen to be working for a corporation that pays you perhaps in bonus or in compensation in company stock, we see it all the time here at North Main Financial. It's easy to get concentrated even in the company stock. Even if it's a very good one, you want to be very, very wary of that because that's a very high risk parameter, meaning that as that single stock goes, so may a significant portion of your net worth. So you want to stay diversified. That's just one small example. There are many ways in which we can get concentrated inside of our portfolios. You want to make sure as you're planning for or as you're in retirement that you stay diversified. That leads me to the third big item, and you may be aware of this already, but we have to remind folks all the time. In retirement, plan for the long term. Now, it's a very different world now than it was almost 30 years ago when I started out in the financial planning and investment management business in terms of what long-term meant. But in terms of how we look at it today and how we plan for clients today, we're planning for 30, 40, even more years in retirement because of longevity. For many folks, it's very common to have as many years in retirement as they did during their working years. So you want to make sure that you plan for the long term. Sometimes when folks are planning for retirement, they're not quite there yet. They kind of think of retirement as a finish line, and so long as everything is locked in place, then they'll be set for the rest of their years in retirement. That may be the case, but we really have to think of that retirement date as just a mile marker, not a line of any kind, just a mile marker that we pass through, and then from a planning standpoint, wanting to take a look at not just years, but perhaps multiple decades in retirement. So very, very important there as you're either looking at, and even if you're already in retirement. If you'd like to reach out to us at North Main Financial Group, perhaps take a look. If you're looking at retirement, how to plan for it, how to make sure that you're pointed in the right direction. If you're in retirement, to make sure that the trajectory that you're on gives you enough flexibility for the highs and lows in the market and for the longevity kinds of concerns that I've raised here, we'd love to hear from you. NorthMainFinancial.com.